Our next topic here is password expiration in Microsoft 365. Now, password management is obviously a pretty critical thing in our environments. Even though we've made huge leaps forwards in the arena of authentication and supporting the multi-factor authentication, the something you know, something you have, something you are measurements, passwords are still one of the main methods that identities use to authenticate, and if anything, it's usually one of the factors, even if you do have multi-factor authentication enabled in your environment. Now, in an Active Directory on-premise environment, we always used password policies in our group policy objects, and that's still going to be something that takes effect even if you link your Azure AD environment with your ADDS, your on-premise Active Directory. However, if you are using cloud-based user accounts that aren't linked to an on-premise Active Directory, Microsoft has some default settings that they've configured that pretty much just take effect right out of the gates with your Microsoft 365 and Azure AD environment. Passwords are set to expire in 90 days. So you create a user logs on, they can set their password to whatever they want. At that point, it's going to do a 90-day period. So in 90 days, the user must change their password. So they log on, change their password. If the user does not change their password and they try to utilize applications and things outside the cloud, eventually those applications are going to be unusable until that password gets changed. So for example, if I had downloaded Office 365 Pro Plus downloaded versions onto my hard drive and I changed my password, those downloaded versions are going to have to reactivate, and if my password isn't linked up properly, then they're not going to be able to go through the process of reactivating. So it can actually, not only can it stop people from signing on, but it can also stop applications from working after a while if you haven't changed your password. So again, your default period is 90 days. All right. You can easily change the 90-day period. We'll take a look at that through the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Okay. Another thing that can happen is, again, if you are linking your on-premise Active Directory with your cloud services, then synchronization can occur to where your objects are syncing to the cloud, and your Azure Active Directory and your ADDS will be in sync as far as all that is concerned. There's also a great little feature called the password write back feature, where if you are syncing, it makes it where somebody changes their password in the cloud, it's going to synchronize back to on-premise Active Directory. Now, another thing obviously that's very important here is that users need to be aware that they are running out of time. So users are going to get their first notification when 14 days come to pass up to the point to where the password is going to expire. So 14 days before your password expires, the user is going to start getting bugged, and basically it's going to be warning the user, hey, you're running out of time, you need to change your password. They'll get these little notifications that are popping up on their screens as they try to interact with their cloud services. Okay, this notification period is also something that you can change, and this is a couple of things that could possibly show up on the test. If you're going through the hands-on activities, they might expect you to know how to change this stuff. Of course, it's also important to know for the real world as well.